Hey, this is Tim with Expert Power Wash. Wanted to show off this skid here that we just built. This one is our double trouble skid. It gets the name from two pressure washers. So here on the left-hand side, we have an 8-gallon a minute machine. And then here on the right-hand side, looking at the back of the truck, here is a 5.5-gallon a minute machine. These machines are both custom-built gear drive units. Take a closer look here. They both have recharging systems on them, meaning when you're running them, they're going to keep the battery charged. This one has a K7 unloader. This one is block mounted, so that means that we take the unloader off of the pump and put it here on the back of the pressure washer. Most of you guys know how that works. Some of the newer ones may not. So this is a special unloader. When you pull the trigger, there's no trapped pressure, so there's not any jolt of the gun or jump. Moving on down here, we have 4 Titan electric stacked reels, stainless steel stack kits. The wiring, the way that we do these, everything is done very, very nicely. If you look back in there, the one there with the red, that's 3M heat shrink. We actually use better wiring and better connections than even what Titan uses. So I'm sure what they use is fine, but we continue to try to put out the best possible stuff that we can put out. And wiring, to me, is a super, super important thing, plays a crucial part in the skid. The longevity of it, the usability of it. If this stuff breaks down or you have bad connections, reeling one of these up by hand is not going to be fun. So let me give you a closer look at our wiring here. You can see everything's all cleanly ran. You can't even hardly see the wiring down in there. Everything ties in with the factory wiring. There is another look at our wiring there. That is marine grade wiring, pure copper strand. If you're not familiar with wiring, a lot of times like the Amazon wiring or stuff that you'd get at an auto parts store has filler materials in it, so it's not going to conduct as well. We even oversize our wiring, so we're using 8 gauge, waterproof, marine grade, the whole 9 yards. So let's talk about the hoses. We're talking about the wiring here as we were in front of the reels. This is 200 feet of 1/2-inch hose. This is a 12-volt soft wash pump. Using this hose, we have our ST510 gun with stainless steel J-rods, ball valve swivels on both of the pressure reels here at the bottom. Both reels have 200 feet of pressure washer hose. And then on over here, we have 100 feet of garden hose. So these reels, these are stainless steel internals or manifolds. They also have the stainless steel swivels on them. So very important when I'm talking about the manifold, I'm talking about this part here. That is the pipe that runs through the reel. We've seen different vendors and advertisers advertise these reels really, really cheap. Titan does have a version of these electric reels with the regular steel manifolds in them. So make sure when you guys are looking at reels, if you're not getting them from us or you're getting them from somewhere else, be very leery of super good, too good to be true deals. Because if you pick up one of those reels, you're going to be replacing the manifold probably in about a year. And these things are not fun to take apart. So just a little tip there. Make sure you're buying good stuff, buy the right stuff the first time. Save you a lot of trouble. Sometimes the super good deal is not really worth the deal in the end. So right here we have a extra garden port. So we got a little bracket here. So this garden reel up at the top, this runs into the buffer tank. It's plumbed out how we always do it. And then this one down here is a second port. And we'll go to the back here, I'll show you. So both of the ports go in there, one from the hose reel and one from the extra port. They both have Hudson float valves on them. We've seen some guys use just a regular port before. And what happens if you get jammed up with a customer or you're talking to somebody and the water continues to flow and it doesn't have a proper shutoff, there's sometimes too much garden pressure going into the buffer tank without a stop. It'll force water up other hoses. That's something that you don't want, especially with a soft wash system. We got our cool pull holder here in the back. This is a brand new feature to our skids. If this is something that you want to add as an add-on, let us know. Here's our EPW box that holds the battery. Let's see what's in here. It might be yeah. So the battery in there. We got our soft wash guide there. Here's a look at the plumbing. Everything is ran really nicely. We like these uniseals. We have filters at the bottoms of these. We don't use any hose clamps in there. So take a look, you can see how the hose just rolls through there. We have a piece of PVC that holds that down towards the bottom. We've tried a lot of different other ways to plumb this, and this is, after about over 100 builds, this is the way. So it works very, very, very well. The least amount of breakdowns we've seen. 7-gallon soap tank. Got our Pro Mixer XL with the rinse valve on here. This one here has the 5.3, so that's a Remco. This is the new dual control. It works like an internal bypass. It's going to run smoother, last longer. This one is actually considered a bleach pump. So Remco's never had a quote unquote bleach pump before. So this is new. Even has a commercial warranty. Sometimes the higher volume pumps is not exactly what you want. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other. It just, there's different forms of application. And sometimes you don't want to blow through a bunch of bleach. Sometimes you want to have a lot more controlled application when you're doing your roof cleaning. And this guy actually preferred the 5.3 over the 7. So again, every situation is going to be different depending on what you're cleaning. This isn't a one is better than the other. You know, same thing with the machines here. We're huge fans of the 8 gallon a minute machine. This one here is a 5.5. If you downstreamed with that 5.5, obviously you're going to get a higher strength downstream because it's less volume of water mixing in with the downstream injector. It's also a great machine for cutting in and just doing little things that support the 8 gallon a minute machine if you have 2 employees here on this truck. So everything serves a purpose. Just because it's smaller doesn't mean that it doesn't fit the task at hand. So this skid is very, very purpose built. This is for a 2-man crew. Looking at the top there, this is a locking surface cleaner rack. You can see that has stainless steel hinges. Locking mechanism there. This one has a compartment here on the back. So if you wanted to store some extra hose, pressure washer hose, garden hose, or if you wanted to turn that into a little storage area, you can do that. Very nice looking skid. Oh, I didn't point out one of the really cool aspects to the skid. This one has 4 slim tanks on it. So a total capacity of 300 gallons of water, 100 gallons of bleach. We have those plumbed together. If I can get a closer look there for you guys, if you want to see how it's all connected. You can see there on the bottom, there's some fancy banjo connections that we use to make this all happen. And of course, we have the pressure washers pulling out of the tanks. We have a 1-inch drain valve. So if you had these tanks completely full and you wanted to drain them out and not carry all the weight, you can do that. You can wash your hands with that drain valve. You can fill buckets, use it as an eye wash station. A lot of different uses for it. Of course, we got our guns here connected to the side for delivery. Yeah, very nice looking skid. Custom built. If you guys are looking for a pressure washing skid and you're looking at some of the other ones and the production models that are out there don't quite fit your needs, we do custom. We actually do a lot of custom work. So let us know. I'll drop all my contact information down below here in the video. If you liked this content, maybe you're not going to be one of our customers that buys one of our skids, but you're interested in the industry or interested in possibly putting together your first unit, you can use this as a reference.